Hello, word nerds. So today we are actually working on our sentence surgeon, and a sentence is a little complicated than I originally realized. Like, I was going through it and I was like, ooh, there's a lot of stuff here. So let's dig into it. So the sentence is from the book The Proudest, which is the book that we were reading on Monday of this week, or at least the year that I'm making this video. It's the Monday of this week. So it says, nearby, a boy yelling, "I'm going to pull that tablecloth off your head." Okay, it ends in an exclamation point. So there are two types of sentences that can end in an exclamation point. It can be exclamatory, which is just a strong emotion, or it can be a command. So the person who's saying something, "I'm going to pull that tablecloth off your head," it's not commanding someone else to do something. So we're going to call this one exclamatory. Because it has an exclamation point at the end and it's not a command. Exclamatory. Okay. So our sentence starts with the word nearby. That, right off the bat, is an adverb, which is not something we're used to a sentence starting with. But it's just kind of like describing what's happening in the action. It's nearby. Then the word a, we know is an article. Boy, not too complicated, it's a noun. And then it says yelling. So that is like a type of verb that's happening right now. So it's like a present tense verb, yelling. Then it turns into a quote, which we need to keep working on learning our patterns for our quotations. So right here we have a comma that says, whoa, we've got a quote starting. Then we have our quotation mark. And everything that this person says out loud has a quotation mark before it. And then it's going to end in quotation marks. Now, before it ends, there's nothing else in the rest of the sentence, so we're allowed to put our punctuation, which is an exclamation point because it's being yelled with a lot of emotion or energy. So we have a comma that says, whoa, there's a quote coming. Our quotation marks that show what is being said at the beginning, at the very end of everything that was said. And we also need to punctuate the end of that statement that's being said. Okay, so then we have the word I'm. I'm is a contraction, which is the combination of two different words. And in this case, it's combining the word I and am. I is a pronoun because it replaces somebody's name. It replaces the boy's name. So instead of the boy calling himself, like let's say his name's Billy, nearby a boy yelling, "Billy is going to pull that," he just calls himself I. So it replaces it. Am is a type of verb. It's like a subtle verb, which we're digging more into verbs this week. So we'll talk about helping verbs and linking verbs. Then going is another verb. So am, going work together to create what he's doing. It's like a future tense, like this is going to happen. And then to is the preposition. So because that's a preposition, that starts a prepositional phrase. To pull that tablecloth. So that's a prepositional phrase right here. Pull is another verb. It's an action that he's doing. That is kind of weird. I actually looked this one up because I wasn't sure myself, but it says that tablecloth. So it's describing the tablecloth. It's like showing awareness to the tablecloth. So we're going to call this one an adjective, but it's kind of like an uncommon one. It's not one that we would have expected. Adjective. And so it's describing the tablecloth. It's that one. Okay, and the tablecloth is a noun. It's a thing. Off your head. So off is another preposition. It's showing the positioning. It's off. So we have another prepositional phrase, which is off your head. Your is a pronoun, and because it's showing ownership, it's a possessive pronoun. Whose is it? Whose head is it? It's your head. And head is a thing. So that is a noun. So we have two prepositional phrases. Ooh, I was trying to double underline it. Also, I will say there's kind of a metaphor right here too with the tablecloth. You guys don't know the story yet, but the girl on her head does not have an actual tablecloth. She has a hijab. It's a head covering for certain cultures. And so it's comparing her religious headwear to a tablecloth. So it's actually a metaphor. It's not a very nice one. He's not being very kind, but it is a metaphor. Okay, so the subject of the sentence was the boy, and what's he doing? He's yelling. So that's our subject in our tag. But we also have other stuff that he does. So he says, I am going, and then he pulls it off the head too. So I am going, and we'll just leave it at that. All right, guys, good job, good work.